Thanks for inviting us in at 6 o'clock, and we begin with breaking news. Indiana University tonight says it is now investigating sexual assault allegations against a former physician for IU athletic teams. IU tells us a former student athlete came forward saying Dr. Brad Bomba Sr. subjected him and other athletes to inappropriate prostate exams during annual physicals. Bomba worked for IU for several decades before concluding his contract back in the 1990s. Now the university says it's investigating the physicals conducted by Bomba over the years and also looking into whether the conduct was appropriate, necessary, or within the standard of care. They're also reviewing tonight what medical professionals and university officials were aware of the conduct and what action, if any, they took. IU is telling us this independent review is from any criminal investigation. IU is asking anyone else with allegations to please come forward. We posted this contact information so you can do so on WTHR.com. You can remain anonymous. Tonight at 6, a former Monroe County Sheriff's deputy is charged with sexual assault while on the job. Karen Campbell sifted through the court documents today to find out what happened and the charges that deputy now faces.
It was here at these Bloomington apartments where a woman says she was sexually assaulted by a now former sheriff's deputy. This is the man charged, 29-year-old Jeffrey Freeman of Greencastle. The victim told authorities it happened on the afternoon of August 21st. An Uber reportedly dropped her off at the wrong location. She asked a different deputy sitting nearby for help. Deputy Freeman then arrived to give the victim a ride to her original destination. The woman told investigators Freeman began groping her leg, appeared to turn off his body camera, and then grabbed her phone. The victim said Freeman began asking her questions of a sexual nature and then started choking her and pulled her hair and slapped her face 4 or 5 times. The woman managed to get out of the car and went into the hallway of the building, reportedly trying every door she could using a friend's key card. Freeman was caught on surveillance video following her. When interviewed by investigators, Freeman admitted he gave the victim a ride. They flirted. He kissed her and smacked her face, but denied further allegations. He also stated the victim was the aggressor. Freeman reportedly committed the acts in a marked car while on duty in full uniform, armed with his duty weapon. He's charged with sexual battery, strangulation, official misconduct, and obstruction of justice. Freeman is expected in court in October 28th to be exact. Now, something interesting to note. Now, as the sheriff's office was reviewing this case, they found out that there was a second case involving a different woman. Now, that is something they will also be investigating. Karen Campbell, 13 News.
And tonight we've learned Freeman's been working in law enforcement for 10 years, starting at the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. He started working for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office 6 months ago. Anyone who may have been a victim is encouraged to contact Indiana State Police. And now to the northeast side of Indianapolis tonight, where a man was shot by IMPD officers this afternoon. Police tonight are telling us all of this unfolded, and it began as a welfare check for a woman at an apartment near 79th and Keystone who was reportedly being held hostage. So when officers got to the apartment, they heard a woman who was screaming inside, then forced their way in. That's when IMPD says a man with a gun started shooting at them and 2 officers returned fire. The man was shot and taken to the hospital. Neither the woman or the officers were injured. IMPD tonight is telling us those officers were wearing body cameras. Right now they're on administrative leave. That's standard policy after a police shooting. The judge in the Delphi murders case just denied a request from the defense team to appeal 2 rulings ahead of the upcoming trial. One of those appeals was over the decision to let jurors hear Allen's alleged confessions. The other over an order preventing the defense team from mentioning other possible suspects or their theory that the murders were part of a ritual killing. Richard Allen is accused of murdering Libby German and Abby Williams in 2017. Now, today's order means this trial is still scheduled to begin on October 14th. Tonight at 6, we're learning more about the woman who was allegedly shot and killed by her Uber driver on Sunday morning. Family members say Shanti Dixon was the mom of 2 kids. Our Chase Howell has been talking with her family, who says they keep waiting for her to walk through the front door. Chase?
Scott, although her family knows that's never going to happen, they say Shanty will live through those she loved. Her mom, Marisa Dixon, says she and her daughter were best friends. As you mentioned, she was also the mother of a 13-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. Dixon says Shanty came into the world with so much love and stayed the same until the day she died.
When people met her, they could not forget her. They could not forget her because that's how much energy she brought when she came. She brought all this bubbly, lively love, laughter, energy.
At this hour, police say Francisco Valadez is the man who shot and killed Shanty. He is currently being held in the Marion County Jail on a preliminary charge of murder. Now, I did reach out to IMPD to see if anyone else has come forward that may have encountered Valadez, but I haven't heard back.
All right, Chase Howell with an update on that story. Thanks so much. Angela?
Scott, we've been monitoring wildfire smoke most of the week and alerting you that this would peak in terms of air quality today, and having that impact. We now have a few areas reaching that unhealthy for sensitive groups range. The rest of central Indiana moderate. So if you suffer from upper respiratory problems, take it easy the rest of today. It's warm out there. 86 Indianapolis, 88 Shelbyville, 84 degrees in Kokomo. The fever in town this evening. Temperatures will be 85 to 90 as folks head into Gainbridge Fieldhouse for a warm evening. We're back close to 90 tomorrow, and new information from the tropics. Francine now a Category 2 hurricane. The local impact in a few minutes.
All right, Angela, thanks so much. We are now less than an hour away from tip-off at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where the Indiana Fever will host the Las Vegas Aces. But the team isn't the only part of tonight's game catching the attention of basketball fans. Our Rich Nye joins us live tonight, where the announcers were just named the best in the WNBA. Hi, Rich.
Yeah, Scott, you'll see that game, of course, tonight at 7 o'clock on 13.3 MeTV, WALV. And on the call with Pat Boylan tonight is our game analyst, Debbie Antonelli. Debbie, you've had some really good basketball to talk about lately, and congratulations on being named the best local WNBA broadcast crew by the readers of Awful Announcing. Now, that sounds awful, but that's actually an honor. What has this team done to gather so much attention, and how much do you sense all the eyeballs on your broadcast now?
Well, I mean, you can watch this team play and you can see the pure joy they play with, and it's really galvanizing. It's galvanizing as a team. It's galvanizing for the fans. Everyone wants to have a part of it, right? You want to be able to touch it. So you come to the arena or you watch it on TV and you feel like you're a part of it. This has become a very socially acceptable thing to do. Watch the Indiana Fever. Watch on your network, and we're having the time of our life calling it.
As the game analyst, what have you seen this team do throughout the season in their growth to deserve all this attention?
Well, first of all, you know, Clarkonomics is a real thing. It's a phrase I've been talking about since November, and it's very easy to define what that means. I mean, you can see the incredible growth. This team has grown. When they were 1-8, Kelsey Mitchell hadn't had any preseason. She had the ankle injury. She was adjusting to playing off the ball. Aaliyah Boston was adjusting to playing in the short roll in the top third of the floor and making decisions with the basketball, not just low post, back to the basket play. She's actually a really good facilitator up top. And everyone had to adjust to playing with a pace that Caitlin likes to play at, where Caitlin is at her best. That's why this team has been 8-2 since the Olympic break. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark are both averaging 25 points, and it's a lot of fun to watch because I like offense.
All right, save the rest of it for tonight at 7 o'clock on WALV.
Yeah, the players are good, and so is that broadcast team. Thanks so much, Rich. And our Fever coverage just getting started tonight. Dom is also over at Gainbridge to tell us what the team needs to do to snag a win tonight. Dom?
The back-to-back WNBA champions in town against the Indiana Fever tonight. Aces, Fever, 3 keys to victory. It's all coming up for you on 13 Sports.
But first, improving trail safety across Indianapolis. We want you to meet the team now hard at work to protect pedestrians and cyclists. All next on 13 News at 6.